Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Desk on SYN 90.7 FM. Of course, you're here with Michael and Liam for a very, very big week in sport, big weekend in sport, actually, and some very, very big results, particularly for the Australians in the cricket. We're going to recap everything that happened in Pune on a very, very big turning pitch. And Liam, of course, that wasn't the only thing that happened on the weekend.
No, another massive round in the AFLW, and we could have a grand final preview next week with the Crows taking on the Lions.
Oh, this is going to be very, very exciting. This is the most anticipated match, I think, besides the inaugural match. This is the big one.
As Bruce McAvaney would say, this is absolutely delicious,
marvellous. It's gonna be great to watch. Of course, there were big results as well.
And the most important league in the AFL at the moment, the JLT
series.
That can tell a story of the season.
We're looking at the two front runners for the premiership.
Yeah, Gold Coast,
North Melbourne, and North Melbourne.
If you're a betting man, put it down right now. Gold Coast versus North Melbourne grand final.
Scratch it in.
Yeah,
it's huge. I don't see anyone beating them.
There's no way anyone can.
Seasons.
The Perth Wildcats are one game clear now to win the premiership in the NBL. And the round 2 of the Suncorp Super Netball League got completed.
It's going to be very, very exciting.
We'll kick things straight off with some cricket. And what a win.
The big sock.
Oh, Socky.
Wasn't he unbelievable? Just showed the poise. And, yeah, there was a lot of doubters from him, actually, originally, because I think even Shane Warne said that, he just doesn't have the composure nor the inner belief to do it. But, I don't think even the Indians did their research on him because they just couldn't play him.
I looked up his stats, actually, believe it or not. In his career so far, he's got 10 wickets or more in the game, which was on that test. 2 5 wickets in the game, plus, which was that test. So I think he's doing okay.
I think he's doing very well.
The good sock.
The sock, Stephen O'Keefe. I couldn't originally understand why they were calling him the sock. Because the Indians couldn't wear him. They couldn't wear him down. He was unbelievable. It was a very, very clean sock indeed. But it's worth mentioning on a pitch that really was spinning quite dramatically. Australia did very well in the first innings to make 260, and I think 2 of the big plays from Australia that really got us around.
Runs.
Matty Renshaw in the first innings, he was very, very impressive. And when we say the most runs, we're not just talking about on the scoreboard, we're talking off the scoreboard as well. And he actually had to retire.
Because duty called.
And that's what he said. He had a big smile on his face. I mean, that guy does not stop smiling. He was probably even smiling when he struggled. But he came back on field after we lost a couple of wickets in clumps, and Australia do have a good good record at losing a lot of wickets in clumps. But he came back, made his second Test 50, and Stark as well made a very crucial 50.
See, I always saw Stark as our second coming of Mitchell Johnson. Sorry.
Yeah, it is a Mitchell thing.
Yeah,
some Mitchells are better than
really
others.
Good. Faulkner did it in the 1 days, but who cares about 1 days at the moment?
Not significant anymore. But
no.
Let me tell you, Stark, he can hit a big ball. He can hit a big 6, can't he?
Oh, he loves the sixes.
He hit 3 6s in his 61 that he made in the first innings. Then he hit another 3 6s as well to boost up our total past about 440 with the lead. So I tell you what, we were 9 for 205. So we could have been easily bowled out for around 200, and that would have given India probably a little bit more, a little bit more hope. But we ended the day, with 9 wickets down and Stark, still not out. So.
And it wasn't even Hazelwood that got out in the end. So
it was.
Congratulations to Hazelwood.
Hazelwood, he's the man. He's the man. He's the anchor. Now, the most dramatic one was, of course, India's first innings. It was just unbelievable.
It was a train wreck.
They lost 7 for 11 runs, which is just phenomenal. And Steve O'Keefe got his best Test figures, 6 for 35. Just marvellous bowling. And really. And we should give some credit to Peter Hanscom as well. He took incredible catch, and of course the Indians couldn't believe it. They were standing there. They wanted to see the confirmation, and didn't they love it? And both of his catches were off the ground convincingly. Like they weren't, didn't grass it at all. They were just clear off the ground. So I think when Matt Renshaw did go off, he took a big catch when they got Virat Kohli out for a second ball duck, and then of course he took the other 2 catches and. The one off the boot of Ashwin was also brilliant as well. So he really does have some talent underneath the helmet.
I've got some fun stats for you.
There we go.
I found this out. When Australia last won in India, which is what, 4,000?
2004, yep, that's right.
How many days was it? 4,500 something?
4,502,
Yeah.
that's right. And Steve Smith, that was the first thing he said in his conference. Because it's probably been ridiculing him for a long time as well. I think every Australian captain that goes over there knows that they're going to have their work cut out.
And not bad for the worst team to ever go, worst team to go over there.
I know, right? Isn't that right? Harbhajan Singh predicted this would be a whitewash 4-0. And first thing Steve Smith said, besides the 4,502 days, was, well, we can't lose 4-0 now, can we?
Speaking of Steve Smith, he was in high school last time we won in India.
There you go.
Mr. Renshaw was 7 years old.
He was 7 years old. Unbelievable.
The Big Bash and the T20 did not exist. iPhones weren't invented. John Howard was Prime Minister.
And Port Adelaide won their first premiership.
Yes. George Bush was the President of the United States. And Port Adelaide and Brisbane were actually made a grand final.
There you go. The
Lions.
Unbelievable. And I think it's also worth mentioning for the game, Steve O'Keefe collected 12 for 70, so still
Not
incredible
bad
figures.
effort.
And he joins an incredible raft of players. He becomes the sixth Australian left arm spinner to take 10 wickets in a Test match. And this is the first one since Michael Bevan in 1997. And only 2 other Australian left-arm bowlers have taken a 10-wicket haul in the subcontinent. And also his figures were the 10th best by an Australian of all time, home or away. And the best match return by any Australian in 27 years as well. So
You're taking my job as a stats man here.
I'm sorry. I had to sneak in there.
Now, the stats, what am I good for?
You of course remember the Tasmanian Jason Frazier. Took 12 for 358, so probably not the most economical figures. And he took those in Nagpur back in November 2008. So these were much, much better than good old Jason Frazier. And he does join a big list of incredible spinners over in the subcontinent. And Steve O'Keefe as well. 5 best figures by a visiting slow bowler in Indian Test matches, so he now tops the list behind Jason Frazier and Richie Benaud. So very, very big from him, and what a Test match win.
I think it's also probably worth noting that the last time Australia was won a Test in India, there was no DRS. And I'm sure India probably wishes that it stayed that way.
Didn't they? What? I mean, they blew the first 2 DRS referrals in their second innings, and both openers gone after looking at the DRS, and both absolutely plumb as well. So I think they really, I think as far as their decision making goes, they're probably not used to using DRS.
No.
For people out there, that's our producer Lucy. She's back after 2 weeks.
Yes, welcome back, Lucy.
Thank you.
Leaving us out to dry. We had no idea what we're doing.
I know.
What's a panel board?
We've missed the third voice, haven't we?
Yes.
We've tried impersonating other American third voices, and that hasn't quite worked. So
we need that expert opinion in our show.
We do. So so wrapping up the match, 333 run win. That is huge. And to dismiss India 100, they only made 2 more runs in the second innings. And it's also worth noting as well that Virat Kohli, that's his first ever subcontinental duck. So his first ever subcontinental duck, and so that second ball duck in the first innings, that was his first. And it's funny, whenever he gets out, it doesn't look like he wants to leave. He stands there for about 30 seconds, just looking as if something's wrong. He's bemused. He doesn't know what's happened.
I'm sorry, but his stand after he left it, that was just, you could just see the arrogance. Like he just stood there as if to say, "Oh, that happened to me." Like as if. Oh,
I'm a god. I'm a god over here.
Yeah. It was just
But how good is it when you can't hear the crowd? The reality is when every single wicket fell for Australia, you could just hear the players, particularly Matthew Wade, louder than anyone, and you just could not hear a single cockroach in the crowd. It was unbelievable.
Rumour has it, right, that if you listen quietly on a cold night, you can still hear Matthew Wade say, "Nice, Gary," after that last wicket.
It's unbelievable. He just continued. I reckon they pick it because they don't pick him for his batting.
No,
they don't. They just pick him for his chirpiness. I reckon. Yeah. I couldn't see Peter Neville doing any of that.
He's a good talker.
I genuinely reckon at least 3 of the wickets can be attributed to Matthew Wade's just chirpiness. I reckon he could be speaking Spanish and still take him off their guard. I tell you, he's just unbelievable. But what a victory! We go to the second Test now with a lot of confidence in Bangalore, and I tell you what, I don't know whether India will find an answer for Steve O'Keefe.
No,
he the sock.
The sock. We're going to go head to a song now, and we're going to talk about the women's one-dayers. This is Eye of the Tiger here on Sport Desk on Sin 90.7.
The Eye of the Tiger to get you in the mood on a Monday morning. Of course, we are talking all the big sports stories on the Sports Desk, Sin 90.7 FM. Thank you for joining us. You are with Michael, Liam, and our producer, Lucy. And we are talking some more cricket here, Liam. And ODIs, Southern Stars, you know, usually pretty good. But unfortunately, they couldn't quite get the job done against the Kiwis.
A team we hate losing to.
Yes, in any kind of code, we do not like losing to the Kiwis, and unfortunately we couldn't do it despite some pretty good performances, some individual performances from the Southern Stars.
Beth Mooney made her maiden ODI 100.
That's a very, very big performance from her. And also, Haynes and Villani both chipped in with a 50 as well. So
not a bad effort.
We got a good score. I thought that 276 would be competitive. But New Zealand just batted with ease. But despite this, now I hope I pronounce this correctly. Tahuhu?
I think, yeah.
Tahuhu.
I think that is, yeah.
And she was very good with the ball. She got her best figures, 4 for 59 as well. So not only were they pretty economical, but she also got 4 wickets as well. So very, very big from New Zealand to win this game. But our producer Lucy poses a very good question about a very, very good player who comes from the Big Bash League. I actually watched a fair bit of her this season, and she's been good the past 2 seasons.
Yeah,
and
Molly Strano,
yeah, Molly Strano we're talking about, and she deserves a cap.
Oh yeah, for sure, and she definitely proved it in the T20s, like most recently.
Oh.
She got, I think, 3 for in the first game, and then
That's right.
I think she got 6 for in the second one. I didn't get to see the one in Geelong, but she's definitely shown, and her figures for the Big Bash the last few years have been pretty phenomenal.
Pretty phenomenal
as well. So
yep.
Beams didn't get any wickets in the ODI, which is not usually how Beams goes. She usually grabs 1 or 2.
Snags a couple, but I really like what Molly offers, and she also, she's got very good variation.
Yeah.
And as a slower bowler, that's pretty handy to have. But despite saying slow, she can bowl a couple of quicker deliveries.
Yeah, she does bowl a bit quick. Like she does bowl like a little bit of off spin, but then can bring in the off cutter whenever she needs to. So she definitely has good variation, but with the other Australian bowlers, Lauren Cheadle, who was injured for the T20s, came in and has got her first ever ODI wicket for Australia. And she's only 19 or 20.
Only 19.
So a good few years ahead of her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
So,
it's a good start.
On
now we're 1-0 down the series.
1-0 down in the series,
Yeah.
Not good World Cup prep.
Not the best World Cup prep.
You want to start off with
and I think we're almost pretty warm favourites for the World Cup as well. The Southern Stars, we've got a very, very good side at the moment.
Yeah, we won the last World Cup, ODI World Cup, and we held on to the T20 World Cup for quite a while as well. But obviously lost that this year because the West Indies picked up the double early last year. So the one ODI World Cup could be interesting for Australia. Could be a lot of movement in the squad. But I always think as long as we have Meg Lanning and she scores a few runs,
that's right.
Then we'll probably be okay. But in terms of like the beginning that we had in the T20s against New Zealand, like we beat them so convincingly, then lost 2 in a row to them, and now lost this game. Could be an interesting series, especially now that we've gone over to New Zealand.
But you wonder whether the psyche for the men's and the women's playing New Zealand is kind of like, you know what, we'll lose a series here or there, but, we're ultimately preparing for a bigger hurdle. And, of course, we didn't necessarily have a good series when the men's played in the ODI against New Zealand. Then they had a very, very, they've won the first test. So maybe the women are looking a little bit further ahead towards that World Cup.
Could be tanking, maybe.
But potentially. Don't get a pick out of it, but yes, you just never know. Doing a Fremantle.
Yeah, they've been tanking for a good 22 years. They have.
Yeah, they certainly have.
We're going to head to some. This is Mr. here on the Spot Desk. That was some Mr. here on the Spot Desk on C90.7. And let's get into the AFLW.
Going straight to the Mrs. From the Mr. to the Mrs. And we're talking AFL Women's and another big week of footy, wasn't it? Unbelievable.
It was
I'm sorry, I just Mr. Women's, big. I just we've got to repeat our words here. You know, we're just trying to emphasise just how big it was.
Emphasis.
And before we even start, let's just talk about the elephant in the room straight off the bat here.
Yeah.
You've worked with Carlton.
Yes.
The last, you know,
She's actually wearing navy blue,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah.
she's supporting him
Do you know what defenders
on and off the field.
are meant to do?
Yes.
You're meant to stop the goal, or especially in the last minute of a game, stop someone being by themselves in a goal square.
Oh yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
Look.
Any inside source?
I didn't get to go to the game on Saturday because I was at uni, but I was watching. I did get to watch that last bit, and when I saw that happen, I was just.
Yes, we've got your Facebook messages, and we can't really repeat them. They had a few lovely words of why did this happen? This is fantastic.
Oh no.
It was just like, and our backline is like the Carlton back. I love to say our backline. The Carlton backline is very, very strong. Like Danielle Hardiman has been one of the most consistent players in the AFLW. Lauren Addard has shut down like Sarah Perkins. She shut down Moana Hope in that first game, and we've had good rotations through the backline as well, like Tilly Lucas-Rod and Katie Loynes and Lauren Arnell also like sort of going through there. Bree Davey, of course, has been sort of our general in the back line, and she didn't play on Saturday. So maybe, I don't know, you can't always put it down to one player, but it was honestly just the worst lapse of just like a mind blank that I think just happened where, there was like 2 minutes to go, scores a level, and the ball's there, and everyone's just like, stop it. And then Rochelle Cranston just pounced and...
You said that one person can't win a game, but I think Daisy Pearce was
good call.
Inspiration, especially because she played especially last quarter mostly back.
Yeah.
And she, like I said last week, she's by far the best player.
Yeah.
She's the elite of the elite in this competition.
She's definitely proved herself as the best player in the competition, and I don't think you will find anyone who probably will claim the first ever AFLW best and fairest, the Brownlow equivalent or whatever, this year, because she's gotten over 26 disposals the last 3 games. Her first game, the loss against Brisbane, that was a terrible, like not a terrible game in terms of standards or anything, but the conditions were just terrible, so it was a hard game for everyone. But she's really come back the last 3 games and just shown that she is the best player in the competition.
Yes.
We'll go down to the second game, and congratulations to the GWS Giants for scoring the lowest score in AFLW history with 1 goal, 3-9. That's
didn't come until the last quarter as well. So at one stage, I'm thinking they're not going to score anything. But they've been disappointing. But on the other side of the spectrum, Brisbane have just continued to show that a lot of people thought coming into the women's league they weren't going to do much.
Yeah, after they just beat Collingwood last week, and
you
thought, are they the real deal? Because Collingwood, let's face it, they're not the premier side.
This was a danger game. GWS they're well
form.
overdue for a win. But Brisbane just showed yet again that they've got some real talent there, and we're going to go through the votes later, and we've given a couple of votes to some pretty influential
goal of the year candidate.
I was about to say
another goal of the year, and
Brisbane have proved themselves to be probably the most creative team.
They certainly are.
The AFLW when it comes to kicking
they've got the best highlight reel. That's for sure. Hands down, the best highlight reel.
It's just like Taylor Harris's contested marks, and then just like all of their goals. You're just like, yeah, pretty good.
It's not the worst team going around.
I think the men should really have a look at the women's, just how they play. They play like they're having fun. The men's don't.
I'm having major calls for them to just do a straight swap.
Yeah.
I would enjoy watching the Brisbane women's team every week.
Yeah. And the Magpies finally got up, and the Doggy season's all but over with a 32-25 loss. The Doggies did come back in the end, but not enough. Mo Hope played okay with a 1-goal in the first quarter.
Yeah, four touches this week, so a lot better.
But poor Sheehan with that knee.
Yeah, that was
not
really
a good looking injury.
Sad. Especially because she touched the ball and then straight away you just saw it like just out of place, and she was.
And when someone goes down without being touched, what they've done straight away.
Exactly. But I think Collingwood proved that if they find other avenues towards goals aside from Mo Hope, that they're a pretty good team.
But they will have hope.
Yeah, they have hope, exactly.
They do have hope.
But I think Steph Chiocci, shout out to Steph Chiocci for being a captain that I think has really had to persevere.
She's one of my favourite captains in the women. At half time against Melbourne, I had her 3 votes, and then she dropped off with the team, and she kind of lost the votes.
Yeah, but I think in terms of a story, she was captain of the Western Bulldogs in all of the exhibition games. Didn't get picked up as a marquee or a priority signing for any of the teams, and got picked up in the draft. Like I think even in the 20s. So come back, captaining Collingwood and doing a very, very, very good job.
And the last game of the round, the top table, Adelaide Crows defeated the Oz Kick under 9s, Fremantle Dockers, in by far the worst skill performance I have ever seen.
Well, I suppose one silver lining is you did have 3 players get 20 disposals, which is good.
That
but
is really good, yeah.
But were they able to do much with it? That's the second question. But
I will say one of them. I think Donovan will be the top 5 and the best players in the
Donovan
competition.
played very well.
Donovan was
She just needs a new club. Just
Get it off,
Yeah.
But I think we said this off air that Fremantle, they look like their structure's really good. They always look like they're going when they get the ball, they can do something. They just make so many skill errors, like drop marks, handballs not going anywhere, kicks not finding the player.
It got so bad that when I was watching it, I turned to my girlfriend and I go, so how's Freddie going to stuff it up this time?
Yeah, I know, it does seem a bit like that, but hopefully they'll turn it around because there's only 3 games to go.
Well,
so.
Freo only have, realistically, especially with Freo, they have Collingwood and then they have Carlton and Melbourne, so you really say one of these games they can win.
Only one.
Or else they're going to pull a St Kilda and be winless in their first season.
Well, that's right, and I mean they were 0-9 Fremantle in the men's league, so let's hope it doesn't happen in the women's.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll head to the votes now.
We'll head to the votes, and first and foremost, I thought of course Daisy Pearce played excellently this round. 29 disposals, 6 tackles as well. So that's not only collecting the ball, but also some pretty serious tackles. And also Elise O'Day, 27 disposals and 1 goal for Melbourne as well. She was outstanding, including kicking the very first goal. But I'm giving my 3 votes to Chelsea Randall for Adelaide, for the Adelaide Crows. She changed around her role a little bit this week. She originally played a little bit in the midfield for all of her games, but she was just outstanding in the back line. Very explosive, bursting through the pack. 17 disposals, 6 marks as well. In the back line, that's almost worth 2 goals. So the co-captain, she's looking great in her new defensive role, and I think she looks very comfortable there, and contributed to the Adelaide Crows getting over the line. So I have to give her the 3 votes. Who'd you give your 3 votes to?
Well, mine, I'm not like you. I'm going with tradition, and Daisy Pearce. You can't look past.
I know, but she's just going to win too easily now.
Yeah, but we want to keep the competition open.
That's what I'm trying to do here. Come on, Liam.
I looked at I was doing the leaderboard on Friday, and she jumped out to 22 votes. And so second place was Taylor Harris on 16. And Taylor Harris hasn't got a vote since round 2. So
no.
And Bree Davies out, and I think she was probably
Yes.
the only
she was looking pretty good as well.
So, we're looking for the inaugural winner of the SYN 90.7 AFLW Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to give my 2 votes to... now, look, I know last week I gave my 2 votes to another excellent goal, but I've just got big emphasis. If there's going to be low scoring in a game, big goals are worth, I reckon, several goals. And Caitlin Ashmore... unbelievable goal. She did a Jason Ackermanis. She was on the boundary. She kept kicking it along the ground, kept dribbling it, and then she just popped it out of nowhere. And it just rolled. It just kept going. In fact, I don't know who it was. The player on the line actually looked more excited than she was.
Yeah, the player on the line made sure she saw it over and then full celebrated.
She did the triple fist bump and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering why she didn't do it like a bit of a finger point or something.
She should have put the hand on the hand on the head and just went, oh my god, I've outdone myself. But
no, it was an amazing goal just because initial kick smothered.
Yep.
Was under pressure, kicked down in front of her. Got to the line and was like, oh, what am I going to do? Just kicked it towards goal, but kicked the goal. It was so good.
So it was similar to, a little bit, obviously better, but similar to Tom Hawkins' goal in the JLT.
Yes.
Like, he just was kind of like, he was trying to kick it to set it up, and it just ended up kept going. So I've got to give it my 2 votes to her. How about you, Lam?
I've got to go with another Brisbane player, Sabrina Frederick Traub.
Yep, good.
I think she's probably been in my top 5 since round 1 for votes. Just her stuff around the
dominated.
ground. She's the Jared Rafford of this competition. She can rock, she can play in the midfield, she can take good marks, kick a goal, and she's got a really good body. Like, you
And
can't.
I reckon Jared
hard to
Ruffhead
move.
would be pretty scared lining up against her. Like,
Yeah.
she is a absolute gun.
And she has a nice
Beast.
kick on her as well. Not as good as Taylor Harris, but,
No.
you can see why she was a marquee
Marquee,
signing for
yeah.
Brisbane.
Oh, absolutely.
The nice pommy over there.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I've given my one vote to her as well. She just catches the eye every week, but this week she was just so hard in the contest. The goal that she kicked, very, very notable as well. Very hard to grab it out of the ruck. Practically wrestled the 6 players around her and kicked the goal. Like, it was unbelievable. And she took 6 marks as well. That's a lot of marks in a game. So, incredibly good up forward and in the ruck. So my one vote goes to her.
And my one vote goes to someone who's actually got a vote in every round so far.
so she
Erin Phillips,
might-
her 18 disposals,
Ah, yes.
1 goal. She's Adelaide's best player. And Adelaide's got wow, that was great. Adelaide can kick goals from everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they
If it's
can.
not the Tex Perkins, it's Abby Holmes. If it's not Abby Holmes, it's Erin Phillips. Like, they've got one of the most dominant forward lines in the competition. Are you doing your votes today or Friday, Lucy?
Why not just go today? Like,
Oh,
Go
it's
today.
fresh in my
I feel
mind.
fresh.
special now.
Yeah. I gave my 3 votes to Emma Zilke,
Oh,
who I think
yes.
is been really underrated. I like how excited you are about it, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just so
Yeah.
glad Daisy Pearson get 3 this week from you.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think, in terms of, we've said it a lot, I think, here on the sports desk, a good captain, a captain's game. And I think she's been leading very, very well from the front. Like Brisbane, obviously, Taylor Harris, Sabrina Frederick-Traub. But Emma Zilke has really shown some leadership.
Yeah.
And I think to get your team over the line 4 weeks in a row and be a good leader, she gets my 3 votes. 2 votes went to Abby Holmes. 2 goals yesterday, I believe. And she looked fired up in the third quarter. And I think that was after a bit of an incident.
Yeah, I still don't know what
That
happened
still
there.
no one knows what was about. But Gibson for Adelaide was...
She wanted to punch someone's head in.
Yeah, I think she did. And I wouldn't be surprised if she maybe gets reported or suspended this week for it. Because there was finger pointing. And I know you're not allowed to do that to a referee. So good luck to her. But well done
And if you
to
could
Abby
lip
Holmes.
read as well.
Yeah, exactly,
She
yeah.
should read
Lots
through
of
it.
words.
Oh, yeah.
And sorry, Michael, but I gave 1 vote to Daisy Pearce.
Okay,
Because,
I'll accept.
yeah.
No, I'll accept that. I'll accept
Yeah.
that. I did give her an honourable mention though. That's
Yeah.
worth maybe half a vote.
Because I think she needs the recognition.
No, she
'cause
does.
She's been
She
that
does.
good.
She is by far the best player in the competition. So no, very good votes. Very good
Thank
votes
you.
indeed.
Earlier this week, early last week, Gil McLaughlin said the locations for the grand finals. If it was in Melbourne, it'd be at Icon Park, which kind of
It makes sense, and I
Yeah.
think his comment about it was the community's really embraced the game, or
Yep.
however it was that he phrased it. And I think if it started there this inaugural season,
yeah.
it ending there makes
Would be
a
very
bit of
fitting.
sense. Yeah, but he also said that there would be some kind of ticketing system so that you
That
don't have 2,000 people locked out
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, if Adelaide make it, it'll be at Adelaide Oval. If Brisbane makes it to Gabba,
Yeah.
um,
What about if it's Adelaide and Brisbane?
it'll be at the home team's ground.
Oh, right.
Ah,
Yep,
right.
Yep.
Right.
They'll
Yep.
play half the game. They'll play half the game at Adelaide, fly to Brisbane, play
Yep.
the second half
the
over
next
there.
week over there. Yep.
Well, that could well be the case, and as the guys are going to preview on Friday, it is going to
Oh.
be top
I'm
of the table
so jealous
clash.
of the Friday team in the
I
round.
know. I wanted to
that
preview
is
this
a game
game,
you wanna
but it's gonna be one hell of a game. That's
It's
for sure.
safe to say the winner's in the grand final.
Who?
The winner of
Oh,
Adelaide
yeah.
Brisbane's in the grand final.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because
They
No
break
doubt.
away.
the next 2 weeks for both teams, Brisbane's got Bulldogs and Adelaide has Melbourne. And then the final round of the season, Brisbane have Carlton and Adelaide has Collingwood. So Adelaide has a better run home.
Yeah.
And if they can get the winner, if they can get 5-0, there's really unlikely
if
for them
you
to
win,
miss out.
if you're winning 5-0.
And Adelaide at home.
essentially-
Adelaide
Yeah,
playing at home.
yeah.
Mm.
It's gonna be a packed, and you know how much the Crow supporters love their footy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, and love and
Feral,
love,
feral.
and love when the opposition supporters know what they think about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey mate, I respect the team you go for.
Oh, God. Imagine Gibson, if that incident was at home.
Oh.
There could have been a few people on the
Oh, it
field.
would have been
with
absolute
her.
riot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people would have been running onto the ground.
The last thing we'll talk about with the wins before we go to a song is the goal kicking. Vesio,
Yes,
Of course,
she's getting
she's getting it done. She's getting a goal every week.
goal every week, but Mitford, Aaron
Oh,
Phillips and
she's
McCarthy are coming up with both 5. Where
Like a house on
Vesio's
fire.
on 8.
I
It's
think
gonna be interesting.
Misford could
Misford will,
overrun.
I reckon.
She's
Vesio.
slotting him from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she kicked 3-3 last week.
Mm.
So that's 6 shots on goal, 2 and maybe 2 behinds against Carlton. So she could be the
Watch
the
out.
dark horse of the goal kicking.
And I wouldn't take Erin Phillips out of it either. She's
yeah.
having a hell of a season.
She kicks them from right in front, snaps
From
them.
60
and then
metres
60
out.
metres out. Yeah, so.
We're going to go to a song now. This is Hang Tough here on the Sports Desk on Sin 90.7.
80s theme, Get Serial this morning on Sin 90.7 FM. Of course, you are joined by...
You did it.
What did I
You
say?
did it this time. You said Get Cereal.
Oh, gee. We were just talking about it off air.
Me from 2
and
weeks ago.
I have absolutely mongreled that one. You are listening to the Sports Desk on
Yes,
Sin
the Sports
90.7
Desk.
with Liam, Michael, and our producer Lucy. And we are going to be talking a bit of JLT Community Series. And it's really heating up, isn't it, Liam? You're absolutely loving it at the moment.
I've got my grand final down packed. I've already got my AFL grand final prediction in.
Oh, yes.
North Melbourne versus Gold Coast. Ooh, licking your lips with that clash.
In the GLT grand final?
No,
This
AFL.
is-
They've got it. Because
you're full of it.
you know what I love? I love watching all the games, and the commentators go, so, how important are wins in this competition? Oh, they're very, very important. Yep. Oh, super important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whereas the three teams were undefeated last year in the NAB Challenger was. Fremantle, Collingwood and Melbourne were all undefeated last year in the 3 games. None of them made finals.
Yeah.
So how important are the games?
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? But yeah, just to recap the scores on the weekend. The good old Saints, St Kilda, they got up on the weekend against Port Adelaide at Etihad Stadium on a Thursday night.
With their new captain?
By 1 point, Jared Geary.
Yes, people saw what he looks like.
Still want to know who he is and what he looks like.
He's
was
bold.
he prolific on the
Oh,
weekend?
he played good.
He played
did
well.
a few
He
good
played well.
things.
And I was actually talking to my dad, because my dad's a St Kilda supporter. He seems to reckon that with someone like Rewalt, because he's such an influential captain, if he has a bad game, the whole team has a bad game because he's the look-to figure. He needs to play well in order for the team to play well.
We've seen a few grand finals with that.
The thing is with Geary, though, like he's not expected to get 30 disposals every week. So automatically, your best tagger will not take Jared Geary, to tag him, because ultimately, like, he's just going to be an influential guy around the ground. But, you would obviously tag someone like a Jack Stephen or maybe a Jack Billings. So the pressure automatically comes off Jared Geary, so he can be a better skipper. But, they don't necessarily have to block him out of the game. So maybe it's a good decision by Alan Richardson.
Oh, see, I like the defender captain. Surprisingly more.
I think
there's only 2. There's Shannon Hearn.
That's right.
And there's
It's very
Jared
rarely
Geary.
that you tag a defender.
The defenders are the most important players on the ground.
That's what I
when I
reckon.
played, I was
They
a
rally
defender.
the troops.
So maybe I'm a bit biased towards defenders.
Defender captain, probably an underrated position, I reckon.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah.
Because the West Coast player that was captain,
Yeah, Shannon Hearn.
Yeah. And I think Darren Glass was also a
Yeah, also
defender, and he
backman.
was the skipper beforehand. So it seems to work for them. So, maybe it might be a bit of a change in the whole psyche.
Yes, on Friday.
On Friday.
The Richmond Tigers won their first and only game of the season
Oh, yes.
when they defeated Adelaide 92-73.
We're jumping the gun straight away, aren't we?
We go down, and like I said, it doesn't really mean much, this competition, but
No.
Melbourne 2 weeks in a row put in really impressive performance, smashing Carlton.
Oh,
2 losses in a row to the Blues. Ooh. Jesse Hogan was by far the best player, one of the best players on ground.
he looked very, very good. I also liked Caleb Marchbank. Really liked the look of him. Of course,
Yes,
the
came
recruit
from
from
GWS.
GWS. Another GWS recruit
Yes, the
for
GWS
Carlton.
Blues.
But he didn't look out of place at all. He finished with 10 intercept marks. So that's you'll take that as a defender any day of the week. And he's only 20 years old. So still relatively young. But yep, he certainly looked the goods on the weekend.
Petrarca? Is it Petrarca?
Petrarca,
that's it.
Petrarca.
Yeah, Petrarca. 4 sausage rolls, if you don't mind.
Yeah, he's looking
19
really good.
touches.
God, he's got a big kick on
The
him.
Hogster with 3 goals, 15 touches.
Hog's breath.
And
yeah.
the skipper kicked 2 goals, 3. So he's spending a bit of time forward. So
Shabby day as well. No,
Yes.
did extremely well. So they're looking very good. The D's. If you don't have them in your top 8, you should seriously consider.
I've said it, and I'll say it to the end of the year. Melbourne need to make the 8 this year. It's not they could make the 8, they might make the 8. No, Melbourne has to make the 8 this season.
Definitely.
It's not the coach will get sacked. It's they have no excuse not to make the 8.
Absolutely, they've got a very probably the healthiest list they've had in probably a decade. So
since the 2000 grand final list,
yeah, but most likely, I reckon.
And that was just to be a place filler. There was no, in 2000, go put your mind back, only there to be a place filler for Essendon.
Absolutely right. West Coast had a very good win in the so-called derby on the weekend against your Dockers. Unfortunately, not getting wins in any of the AFL games.
No, we are 4 losses.
But
it was 4 losses, 1 draw this year so far. But
silver lining, I think, was Nat Fife. Team high 22 touches and a very nice mark as well. So it was his first return after a year out from the broken leg, of course, and he looked very good. So your new skipper getting on the board.
You know who else looked really good? Mr. Sammy Mitchell.
Sammy Mitchell, didn't he? What? He can still handball at about 20 metres as well. So he's doing extremely well.
And then Joshua Kennedy with 5 goals,
just
casual. With the new recruits for Freo, all the brag was about the new recruits and how good they're going to be. McCarthy looked out of place. Kirsten kicked a goal, but apart from that, wasn't seen. Bradley Hill popped up now and then. And, Kennedy kicked 5 goals on Joel Hamling, so, Yes. Maybe Freo will talk. That doesn't sound like Dockers at all.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. No, pressure not getting to them at all. No. Now, we're going to head to the undefeated side of the JLT Community Series, North Melbourne.
Oh, the Kangas.
Joining the chorus,
back in Arden Street
now. And tell you what, Nathan Hovat is looking very good. The recruit from the Doggies, 18 possessions and 2 goal assists. So, you'll absolutely take that. And, looked very well delivering the ball into the inside 50. So, definitely watch out for him next season. Ty Vickery also played very well for the Hawks.
That's a sentence you don't hear too often.
Which, yes, both of them combined. Doing well and playing for the Hawks. But no, he played very well. Played in the ruck for most of the game. He's 200 centimetres, he's definitely a handy second ruckman if they ever need him. But he definitely might be ready to deliver this season. Looking very good.
Someone who's ready to deliver. This guy wasn't meant to be back until round 4, but picking up 22 disposals and kicking a nice snag. Jaeger O'Meara.
Jaeger. Big Jaeger bomb.
Someone who I've been very tough on, but you can't argue with the facts that
he'll play round 1. He'll play round 1.
And same with Tom Mitchell.
Yep.
It's absolutely blitzed as well.
Yep. No, their recruits are looking very good, unlike Fremantle's.
Yes. Exactly.
Gold Coast got up in Mackay
it's another
against
grand
Essendon.
final favourite.
Another grand final favourite. Their recruits are looking very good. Benny Ainsworth knew exactly where the goals were. Number 4 draft pick. And then, of course, you had, Will Brodie?
Yeah, Will Brodie.
Also played extremely well. Kind of patted off towards the end of the game. A couple of sore bodies, but he played very well.
The one that hurts me the most, and Mr. Michael Barlow, 31 touches.
I know.
I miss him.
Might have been handy on the weekend.
I look at a poster of Barlow and I cry at night. It makes me sad that he's not at Freo.
It does. And he was up for anyone really at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which is
he's a great pickup. The Gold Coast absolutely got an absolute gem with Barlow.
They did.
And off the field, he's one of those real Aussie blokes as well.
Yeah.
He's
a battler.
He'll go to a pub during a game if he could. Type of guy,
Going back to the 1980s, indeed. Yeah. And I thought for Essendon, Josh Begley was picked up pick 30, so pretty lower order kind of
nice
pick,
4 goals.
Played a nice 4 goals and 3 in the first half. So this guy's got a fair bit of talent. He's only 18 as well, so played extremely well. And he might be in that forward line along with Orazio.
Yes.
So looking very. I love that man.
I was really impressed with Darcy Parish.
Yep,
Darcy
the guy who
looks like he's 5 years old.
He does. Yeah. No, he's got to shave that hair eventually.
Yeah,
but
nice
no, he's looking very good.
23 touches and a goal.
Yeah, no, a couple of very good players for Essendon. So we've had 2 losses, but.
But if you look at the game and look at the stats, if you notice something's missing, none of these teams kicked super goals.
No, they did not.
And one of the questions was raised during the game why they haven't is because there's no cup, there's nothing to play for. You don't need to kick that super goal to win the game.
No, you don't.
So maybe the super goal would be irrelevant. They might keep it in.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of even taking it out. But you miss the big kicks from outside 50. I miss the 9 pointers.
I do.
So I also miss the days where it was a rush behind. It was 3 points. I'm going back
going back a long time.
I'm going back to when Australia last won in India times. You know what I mean?
Gee whiz. He kicked it out of bounds on the full and it was a throw-in.
Yes.
They were the days. Well, it has been another brilliant show. Couple of other results that we're just going to quickly wrap up. The A-League. So Sydney defeated Melbourne City 3-1. Brisbane couldn't get up against Wellington. Wellington 2-1. Melbourne victory, of course, got up against Adelaide 2-1. Perth smashed Western Sydney 2-0, and Newcastle got up, tied with the Central Coast Mariners 1-all.
Yes, and in the second round of the netball, we got the New South Wales Swift defeated the Adelaide Thunderbirds 54-44. The GWS Giants are the only undefeated team in the netball league, kind of like their men's team will be in the AFL,
Yes.
winning 61 to the West Coast Fever. Sorry, winning 66 to the West Coast Fever 51. The Queensland Firebirds defeated, lost to the Collingwood Magpies.
Oh, shattering.
So 2 wins in a week
Two
for Collingwood.
wins for Collingwood, doing extremely well.
Good thing we're safe here in the studio.
Goes
Those
across
Collingwood
leagues, you know.
Yeah. 50-54. The Sunshine Coast Lightning defeated the Vixens 58-52.
And then in the NBL Grand Finals,
Yes.
Perth got up against Illawarra 89-77.
A very, very strong second half.
Very, very strong
And
indeed.
on Wednesday's possibly the final game. Depends how it goes.
See how it goes.
Could be another premiership for the Wildcats.
The Wildcats.
Yes. We kind of ran out of time. Time got away from us today.
Certainly did.
Yes.
Certainly did. So just huge sport results, and really sets up a huge next week for sport.
We can talk about footy all day if we could.
We
Yes.
could. You know, so big women's league coming up this weekend. We've got more cricket coming up as well, and it's just going to keep getting more and more exciting.
Yes. Let's just keep watching sport. This is great.
Keep
This has been
watching
the
sport.
Sports Desk on SYN 90.7.